Okay, guys, today's lesson is on identifying angles. This addresses standard 7GB4. So we're really looking at being able to identify supplementary, complementary, vertical, and adjacent angles. So let's talk about what each of those mean and look at some examples of those. So complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So add up to 90 degrees. Vertical angles are angles that are across from each other. Be a great idea to write this down. So they're across from each other. They share a vertex. Okay, a vertex is that middle part, kind of where the angle is bending. Okay, adjacent angles are beside of each other. And an adjacent angle will share a vertex and a side or a ray. And then supplementary angles are very similar to complementary angles because they add up to 180 degrees. So two angles that add up to 180 degrees are supplementary angles. Okay, so let's look at some examples of these. So complementary, let's go back to our complementary. They add up to 90 degrees. So you're looking for two angles that make a right angle. Now in this diagram that's here, you won't see that. Let me draw you one out here. So if we got a straight line, I'm going to put a box here showing 90. So if this is angle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, then you're looking for the two angles that make 90 degrees or add up to 90 degrees or create a right angle. So as you can see here for this 1 and 2, I've put that box there in that corner, meaning that is 90 degrees. So therefore, angle 1 and 2 would be complementary angles. Okay, let's look at vertical angles. Vertical angles, like we said, is across from each other, and they share a vertex. Okay, so some examples of this would be 5 and 7. Angle 5 and angle 7. Okay, you can see that they're across from each other here, and they're sharing this vertex here. Also across from each other would be angles 6 and 8. 3 and 1 would be across from each other. 2 and 4, 15 and 13, 14 and 16, 11 and 9, and 10 and 12. All of those would be vertical angles. Okay, they're kind of making a V and sharing that vertex with each other. Okay, adjacent angles means that they're beside of each other. Okay, so an adjacent angle will still share that same vertex, but they'll also share a side, okay, or a ray. So for instance, angle 7 and angle 8, those are beside of each other. They're sharing that point and sharing a side. Angle 2 and angle 3, they're beside of each other. There's a whole bunch of these. So 5 and 6, 6 and 7, all of those are adjacent. 4 and 1 are adjacent. 12 and 9 are adjacent. 9 and 10 are adjacent. So all of those angles that are beside of each other, sharing that vertex and sharing a side, are adjacent angles. And then the last one, supplementary angles. Remember that a straight line is 180 degrees. So if you've got two angles that create a straight line, then those are supplementary angles. So let's look here in our diagram. So for instance, angles 7 and 8, okay, they're creating this straight line right here. So if you took angle 7, whatever that measure would be, and angle 8, then they've created a straight line which is 180 degrees. Therefore, angle 7 and angle 8 would be supplementary angles. Also, there's a straight line here being created by angle 12 and angle 9. So angle 12 and angle 9 would also be supplementary angles. So two angles that are adding up to 180, and there are many, many more supplementary angles in this diagram. So let's look at some of these. These are multiple choice. Your assessment is multiple choice today. It's not through IXL, so that'll be a nice break from IXL. It says, which angle is vertical to angle 3? So here is angle 3. Remember, vertical angles, you've got to think back to that every time. Vertical angles share a vertex, and they are across from each other. And if you outline angle 3, okay, so here's one side of 3. If you outline it and extend it on both sides of angle 3, you're outlining the other angle. So which one is across from 3? What's angle 6? So angle 3, whatever that measurement is the same measure for angle 6. So angle 3 and 6 are vertical angles. Okay, so which angles are complementary to each other? So think about what complementary is. What does that mean? And go ahead and pause your video and see if you can answer this one. Okay, so we're looking for the two angles that are complementary, meaning they add up to 90 degrees. Now, we can see the angle 2 has that red square there, meaning that that is a 90-degree angle here. So you've got to notice that this is a straight line, and we know that that straight line measures 180 degrees. So if 90 of it's already used up here, we know that 100 minus 90 is 90. So that means angle 5 and 1 together create a second 90-degree angle. So again, if two angles are making 90 degrees, then they are complementary. So we could say angle 1 and 5, which is answer choice B. Okay, pause your video and try example 3. Think about what adjacent means. So adjacent is when they are beside of each other. So you're looking for one that is beside of angle 3. So it's going to have to be either angle 4 or angle 2, because both of those are adjacent to angle 3. But only one of those is listed as an answer choice, which is angle 4. Okay, which angle is vertical to angle 1? Okay, remember what vertical means. Vertical means that they're sharing a vertex, and they are opposite of each other. So I told you, if you'll outline angle 1 and extend it, you outline the other angle. So we just outlined angle 4. So angle 1 and 4 are vertical angles, and therefore have the same measure as well. Okay, example 5, which angles are supplementary to each other? So pause your video, think about what supplementary means, and choose an answer. So supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so we can see the angle 2 is 90 degrees. This is a straight line. So if this is 90, then these two have to be 90 as well. So we have 1 and 5 again, very similar to the previous supplementary question. Which angles are vertical to each other? Okay, so we've got several vertical angles here, so you're probably better off just looking through your answer choices. So think about what vertical means. It means they share a vertex, they're opposite of each other, and they have the same measurement. Okay, so angle 3 and 1. Let's check that one first. Okay, do they share a vertex? They're opposite of each other. If you extend them both, you're outlining them. So that looks to be the correct answer. Let's go ahead and check our other ones though real quick. So 1 and 6. 1 and 6 are not vertical angles. 6 and 7, those are beside of each other. Those would be adjacent, not vertical. And then angle 7 and 3, also not vertical angles. So it is that first one of angle 3 and angle 1. Okay, which angles are adjacent to each other? Select all that apply, so that means there could be more than one right answer. There may just be one right answer, but there could be more. So which angles are adjacent? Okay, I'm just going to work through my answer choices here. Remember that adjacent means that they are beside of each other. They share a vertex and a side. Okay, so angles 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are beside of each other. They are sharing this vertex and they are sharing this side. So 7 and 8 would be a correct answer. Angle 4 and 3, those are also beside of each other. They're sharing the vertex and they're sharing this side. So that would also be a correct answer. Angle 6 and 1, those are not beside of each other and they're not sharing a vertex and a side. And then angles 9 and 10. 9 and 10 are sharing this vertex and this side. So your correct answers would have been A, B, and D. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and you're going to tell me which angles are complementary to each other. Okay, think about what complementary means. This is a select all question, so there may be one correct answer or there may be all correct. So take your time, see which ones are complementary. So angle 2 and angle 4. Now this one is real tricky. So we can see the angle 3 is a 90-degree angle. Okay, so we have a straight line here with angle 3, 4, and 5. So remember that this straight line is going to be 180 degrees. It's half of a circle. And we can see that angle 3 here is 90 degrees. So that means angle 4 and 5 also are 90 degrees. Now we know that angle 2 and angle 5 are both vertical angles because they're across from each other sharing that vertex. So whatever the measure of angle 5 is also the measure of angle 2 or vice versa. So we're looking for, let's just start with our first answer choice. So we have angle 2 and angle 4. So would 2 and 4 add up to give you 90? Now, at first thought, you want to say no. However, you can see the angle 4 and 5, like we just discussed, is going to be a 90-degree angle here. And angle 2 has the same measure of 5. So if 4 and 5 go together to give you 90, then 4 and 2 will also go together to give you 90. So that would be a correct answer. Okay, angle 5 and 4. We just said those two definitely go together here because they're completing that straight line. So that one would be a complementary angle. Angle 1 and 5. Okay, 1 and 4 are also vertical angles. That means they have the same measure. So if 4 and 5 goes together to give you 90 degrees, then 1 and 5 would also go together to give you 90 degrees. And then angle 3 and angle 2. That one would not because angle 3 alone was 90 degrees here. So we can't add anything to it and still get 90 degrees. So you would have gotten A, B, and C. Okay, pause your video and try example 9. You're looking for which angles are vertical. Think about what vertical means. It is a select all question, so be careful with that. Okay, angle 2 and angle 1. 2 and 1 are not sharing a vertex, and they're not opposite of each other. They're actually adjacent because they're beside of each other. Angle 1 and 4, if you extend those sides of 1 and it becomes the sides of 4, then those are adjacent. They are vertical. They're sharing a vertex and they have the same measure. Okay, angle 2 and angle 5. Again, sharing the same vertex, they're opposite of each other. You can extend those sides and outline the other one. And then the last one, we have angle 6 and angle 3. So 6 and 3, they are opposite of each other, sharing a vertex. So you would have gotten B, C, and D. Go ahead and pause your video and try example 10. Okay, so we're looking for the one that is vertical to angle 4. Remember, vertical means they share a vertex. So if we'll extend our angle of angle 4, we have outlined now angle 2. So angle 2 is vertical to angle 4. So none of the others can be an answer. You can only have one vertical angle to that one. Okay, go ahead and pause your video and try example 11. You're looking for which angles are supplementary, meaning they add up to 180 degrees, supplementary to angle 3. So let's check our first one with angle 6. We can see that angle 6 is bigger than angle 2. Now angle 2 would go with angle 3 to make 180 degrees because it's creating this straight line here, this half of a circle. Okay, so we can already check angle 2. However, we can see that angle 6, due to the tilt of this second line here, this line right here, due to the tilt of that line, we can see that angle 6 is greater than angle 2. Therefore, angle 6 would not go with angle 3 to create a supplementary angle, or supplementary angles. Okay, let's check angle 7. Let me erase some of this mess here. So with angle 7, that's going to be this one. So that is 2 acute angles. Remember that an acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. So if we've got 2 angles that's less than 90, even if they were both, say, 80, 80 and 80 would only give us 160. So we would still be short of 180. Okay, so then let's check angle 4. So 3 and 4 would go together here. Let's get rid of some of those marks. So angle 3 and 4 create this straight line, which would be 180 degrees. So angle 2 and angle 4 are the correct answers on number 11. Okay, this is our last one, so go ahead and pause your video. You're looking for the complementary angles to angle 2. So what angle is complementary to angle 2? This one's not a multiple choice, so just tell me which one is complementary to it. So remember that complementary means they add up to 90 degrees. So what angle is going to go with angle 2 to be complementary? What's going to add up to 90? So we can see this red box in angle 3. So we have a straight line here we know is 180. And if angle 3 is 90 of it, then angle 1 and 2 has to be the other 90. So angle 2 and angle 1 would be complementary angles. So angle 1 is complementary to angle 2. Okay, today's assessment is through forms. So you can click on that link on your team's assignment.